Welcome everybody to our Christmas carol service on this second Sunday of Advent. It's lovely to see you all here, especially those of you we haven't seen for a little while. It's always lovely to... Christmas is good like that, isn't it? You see people you haven't seen for ages. It's always a treat. Thank you. Welcome also to those people on Zoom. And we're looking forward this afternoon to sharing some festive magic, some singing, some celebration, hopefully some inspiration. As the Sufi writer Elias Amadan recently wrote, no matter how different we seem, all of us keep beginning in the same moment. So here we are in this same moment. Welcome. I'm going to begin with some opening words from the Unitarian Universalist Gretchen Haley. Calling all who cannot wait any longer for joy, for hope, and some good news, even a little. The time has come. The waiting is over. Here in this time, we have an old story to tell. One that has been shared over and over for thousands of years. But still, somehow it remains unheard. It's still radical and risky. Breaking through into these days of darkness and cold, division and fear. Interrupting the perpetual stories of violence and loss and the feelings of powerlessness. Into the errands and errors of every day, Christmas arrives, not only to comfort, but to awaken, to reassure and also to stir us up as a new life, a life of peace and justice and courageous love struggles to be born. Wondering if we will yet be the ones who make room in our lives and in our world for the refugee, the poor, the plain and messy sweetness of a newborn baby. If we will take the journey to Bethlehem. If we will be changed by the presence of a love that meets us where we are, in the fields, wherever we lay, and calls us forth into a new journey, a braver and bolder life, believing that it is not too late for strong and gentle people to win the day, for compassion and truth to have the final say, for the bright light of hope to shine through even on the darkest night. Come, let us celebrate the good news of Christmas. Let us worship together. Words by Gretchen Haley. And I'm sorry about a bit of flickering on the screen. It happens sometimes. Hopefully it will settle down. And now, this is a candlelit service, not entirely candlelit, because we find we can't see any words if we're entirely candlelit. But we do have candles to light. And so I'm going to begin by lighting our chalice candle and inviting those of you watching at home to light one at home if you'd like to. And our candle lighting elves are going to light candles here at the front and at the back. So let me begin by lighting our chalice candle, which is the symbol of our free religious faith. May our flame be a symbol of the spirit of Christmas, of the light that dwells within each and every one of us, may it shine ever more brightly and warmly at this festive and holy time. May our candles please be lit. Thank you. Beautiful. And as the day darkens, then I think we'll appreciate the candles more and more. But first, let us join together in a prayer. And I should say that we use many names for God, and we appreciate that each of us has our own understanding of what that means. But this prayer is addressed to Spirit of Life. Spirit of Life that goes by so many names. Spirit of Love that has taken so many shapes on our earth over the millennia of human habitation. We open our hearts to make room for you. With the innocence and imagination of a child. Help us to hear the beauty and the magic in the Christmas story. Let us feel the love that surrounded the Holy Family and allow that love to heal the cold and unsheltered parts of ourselves, the parts that are lonely and on the road. Whatever may bring sorrow into our lives at this time, let us feel here the presence of a humble community, a community that offers warmth and a shelter from life's hardships, that offers companionship on our journeys. May it be so. And now this is a carol service, so it's time we sang a carol. And as I said, it is Advent, second Sunday of Advent, so our first carol is an Advent carol. If you have a hymn book, there are some out already. There's a few spare ones at the back if you want one. It's number 82, hymn number 82. And we hopefully will also have the words on the screen. So please join in singing hymn number 82, People Look East.
People look
So our first reading this morning is taken from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, verses 1 to 7, and Crystal will read it for us.
Luke 2, chapter 1 to 7. In those days a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn.
Thank you, Crystal. And Marion will read for us an Advent poem, or a humanist Advent poem, in fact.
Yes, this is called A Humanist Advent Poem by Rob Macpherson, and there's one line that vegetarians might not like. How we have hurried towards this time of waiting, headlong to this fully fallow stretch of days. We pick the calendar's windows, dating, keeping vigil at the stubble fields' lowering haze. Gone the days of full-bellied harvest, gone as surely as the sun goes west. How we gorged on the fruit of the vine, how we wrung the windfall from the tree, and wolfed the blood-warm lamb cut fine, and sopped the juice with loaves we gathered free. Now the sun, slung low across this field of time, sheds milky light on furrows, tumbled clods. Even steeple bells seem muffled when they chime, above a land laid waste, abandoned by the ancient gods. This is the sign you shall be given, longing, dearth, below the spent, expectant, sulking earth, the hidden powers shift and knit and surge. Burgeoning life awaits in womb as soil and soul converge.
Thank you. Our second carol today is O Little Town of Bethlehem, and it is number 85 in your hymn books, 85. O Little Town of Bethlehem.
Sweet
And now Poppy will continue the nativity story from the from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, verses 8 to 20. Thank you, Poppy.
In that region there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Saviour, who is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace among those whom he favours." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." So they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known what had been told to them about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, as it had been told to them.
Thank you, Poppy. I just remembered that I brought my stole with me and I've got to put it on. So, better late than never. Our second reading was chosen by Thelma, a member of our congregation. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here today, otherwise she would have read it. But Linda is kindly reading it on her behalf. And it's by Robert Fulgham. And it's one of the entries from our daily reader, Fragments of Holiness. Actually, it's the reading for Christmas Day.
I know what I really want for Christmas. I want my childhood back. Nobody's going to give me that. I might give at least the memory of it to myself if I try. I know it doesn't make any sense, but since when is Christmas about sense anyway? It is about a child of long ago, far away. And it is about the child of now, in you and me, waiting behind the door of our hearts for something wonderful to happen. A child who is impractical, unrealistic, single-minded, and terribly vulnerable to joy.
It's a nice reading, that. And so our next carol is, I hope you are in good voice. I think you are. You seem to be. It's number 91, Midnight Clear. It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old. Number 91.
Is came upon the midnight clear, as
So as some of you know, I also look after the Unitarian Chapel in Cullumpton, and it's a smaller congregation, and so they had their service last week. They only meet monthly, and this year I invited them to suggest some readings that they would like. And they came up with some quite interesting choices, not all of which were Christmassy. And this one is one of them. It was, a few of you might remember Miles. He came with Alice and their 3 young children. Might have been only 2 at that time, a few years ago. But they lived in Cornwall then, they now live in Exeter, so they come to Cullumpton. And Miles chose to read part of the poem Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. And it was a surprising choice, I guess, but also I think people found it a powerful one. So Sheila will read it for us now.
From Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail, there gloom the dark, broad seas. My mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, and opposed free hearts, free foreheads, you and I are old. Old age hath yet his honour and his toil. Death closes all. But something ere the end, some work of noble note, may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes. The slow moon climbs. The deep moans round with many voices. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
Thank you, Sheila. And Viv will read for us a poem by Shirley Irena Murray called Peace Child.
The Peace Child. Peace Child, in the sleep of the night, in the dark before light, you come. In the silence of the stars, in the violence of wars, Saviour, your name. Peace Child, to the road and the storm, to the gun and the bomb you come. Through the hate and the hurt, through the hunger and dirt, bearing a dream. Peace Child, to our dark and our sleep, to the conflict we reap now, come. Be your dream born alive, held in home, wrapped in love, God's true shalom.
Thank you. Our next carol is In the Bleak Midwinter. So of course this time is about midwinter as well as Christmas. So carol number 87 in the hymn books is In the Bleak Midwinter. It may not be quite, we are using the words in the hymn books, but the Unitarians do tend to tamper with the words a bit. So they may not be quite the words you were exactly expecting, but similar. Let's sing. We're going to come to some quiet time now, and I'm going to lead us, or rather I'm going to lead you, all of us, into a period of silence with a prayer. And the prayer is on the back of your order of service, if you have one with you. It will be on the screen as well. It's even inside most of the front covers of our hymn books, so somewhere or other I hope you will be able to find the words. You may well know it anyway. It's the International Prayer for Peace. So in a moment we'll say that together, and then there'll be just some quiet time, just silence for your own thoughts, for your own reflection or meditation or prayer. You might like to focus on your breathing or on a candle or on a word, maybe love or peace or hope, whatever feels right for you, or just simply sit quietly in the stillness. So let us say together now, lead us from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead us from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead us from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you to Gay also for playing for us today. Some thoughts at this time of year. We heard in the reading from Ulysses the words, "Come, my friends, 'Tis not too late to seek a newer world. It is not too late to seek a newer world without, but especially it is not too late to seek a newer world within. It is never too late for that. Never too late to seek spaciousness inside ourselves where perhaps there has been stagnation. Never too late to seek lightness where there has been burden. Never too late to seek curiosity rather than cling to opinion. And never too late for generosity and love, which we find is already in our hearts, in place of meanness or fear. 'Tis not too late to seek a newer world, and we are always, all of us, called to do exactly that. Every moment, but perhaps especially at Christmas. Because the nativity story, as we've been hearing, is not just a pretty tableau or a cosy tale. The Christmas story is meant to confound us. It's meant to challenge, and more importantly, to change us. Like a Zen master rapping his students with a stick to wake them up. I don't know if they really do that, but that's what I've heard. The Christmas story is a shock of contradictions. A virgin mother, a baby in a stable who is God, kings who pay homage to commoners. It's impossible and radical. A story that turns everything on its head in order to make us question everything we thought we knew. And no need really to get too hung up on whether it is or isn't factually true. That is to miss the point. It is true in its own way, and is intended surely to jolt us out of habitual, tired ways of thinking, and yes, to see the world anew. It's so easy to become despairing about the world we live in. I know that I sometimes do. So much seems to be wrong, is wrong. Conflict, suffering, disaster, cruelty seem to be everywhere we look. And yet, here again is the Christmas story, in the shape of a clear-eyed, open-hearted, newborn child. Once again, fervently calling us to build a world fueled by joy and by love. But crucially, it does so by seeking first and foremost to transform each one of us. The process can't begin out there somewhere. It has to begin in here, with you and me, waking up and finding at last the peace, the joy, the love that is in truth already there within us. That child within who, as Robert Fulghum put it, is impractical, unrealistic, simple-minded, and terribly vulnerable to joy. Then and only then will the outer world have a chance of being transformed too. So it is not too late to seek a newer world. The only question is, will I and will you? Let's sing again. Hark the herald angels sing. It's a great carol. It's quite high. You'll have to stand on tiptoes to sing it. It's number 90 in your hymn books. Hark the herald angels sing. Excellent. We're coming to our final readings now. And Anne is going to read for us. This is a story that we have shared before at Christmas, but it always seems to be relevant. If anything, it seems to become more relevant with the passing years. So it's Christmas Lights by Margaret Sylph.
The whole country was in deep gloom. There was a mood of sadness and hopelessness in one small town. Christmas was approaching, but there was very little money to buy gifts or festive food. And then came the final straw. When the townsfolk started to assemble the traditional Christmas lights to decorate the streets, they found the lights were no longer working. At first, everyone turned to the mayor. "Our Christmas lights aren't working. What are you going to do about it?" And the mayor summoned the town council to a meeting. "The Christmas lights have failed. What can we do about it?" he asked. "There's no money available to buy new lights," they told him. "We are barely surviving. There is nothing left over for luxuries like that." And the mayor told the people the bad news. And at first the people were angry. They wanted to complain to the mayor and protest to the town council. But eventually they too could see there was simply no money, and that was the end of the matter. But then the Christmas miracle began. A few of the townsfolk got together. "I'm an electrician," said one. "Maybe I can fix the lights." "And I have an axe and a saw," said another. "I could fetch a big fir tree from the forest to place in the town square." "And I have a long ladder," said another. "I can help put the lights on the tree." "I'm no good with technical things," said another, "but I can bake, and I will make mince pies for everyone." "Oh," another spoke up, "in that case, I can make hot chocolate for all the children on Christmas Eve. And I will make mulled wine for the grown-ups," offered the innkeeper. And so it happened But the town celebrated Christmas that year in such a very special way that no one who was there would ever, ever forget it.
Thank you, Anne. So times are hard, but we've got each other. Our final reading is a poem by Ua Fanthorpe. She wrote many Christmas poems. She used to write them on cards to send her friends. Some of them were funny, some of them were a little bit more serious. I think John read us the funny one last year, but he's reading a slightly more serious one this time, BC AD.
BC AD by Ua Fanthorpe. This was the moment when before turned into after, and the future's uninvited timekeepers presented arms. This was the moment when nothing happened. Only dull peace sprawled boringly over the earth. This was the moment when even energetic Romans could find nothing better to do than counting heads in remote provinces. And this was the moment when a few farm workers and 3 members of an obscure Persian sect walked haphazard by starlight straight into the kingdom of heaven.
Thank you, John. Let's all hope for peace, dull peace, spreading over the world. Our final hymn, carol, is number 96. It's a joyful one to finish with. It is in fact called Joy to the World. For we shall come, let peace be our refrain. Let's sing number 96, Joy to the World. I'd like to thank all of you for coming, and I'd like to thank everyone who has helped set up and made our church look beautiful this afternoon. It's all part of the Christmas spirit of teamwork and doing things together, making it work. So I'm very grateful to everyone who's helped. Special thanks to Gay and to Myron for coming in and providing music and technical support for us, and to all of you, just for bringing yourselves and for being here and being part of this community today. And I hope that you will join us for festive refreshments. You can guess what they might be in the hall afterwards. But first, a blessing. And this is a blessing written by one of our ministers, Elizabeth Birtles. I wish for you your own Bethlehems, where suddenly in the darkest, coldest night, new hope is born. Where suddenly a natal light reveals new possibility and potency for a new beginning. I wish for you, time and time again, the bright, angelic flash of your own Bethlehems. Blessed be.